Hello, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of Stories of Christmas Joy. I am super excited about my guest today because we found each other on Amazon last year.
Which is kind of weird, but it's true.
Kind of strange, for sure. But we both have a passion about Christmas and the Gospel of Luke, because Jenny Elwood, my guest today, is an author, a speaker, a Bible nerd. I've seen you call yourself a Bible nerd, podcaster, and she also has written a Christmas countdown, but she calls hers counting up to Christmas through the Gospel of Luke. So Jenny, thank you so much for joining me today. First of all, tell us where you're at, the name of your book. I think you have it with you, so you can hold it up. I have your book on Kindle, and I forgot to bring my Kindle downstairs. But tell us that, and then just go ahead and launch into a favorite story of Christmas joy that you have.
Sure. So this is my book. It's called Counting Up to Christmas: 24 Gifts of the Gospel through the 24 Gifts from the Gospel of Luke. I'm like, how many times have I said that? And I flub over that word sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm in Yakima, Washington, which is kind of right in the middle. It's like lots of apples and pears and very huge farming community. We're about 2.5 hours from Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah. And I started writing this book, I think it was 9 or 10 years into the habit of reading Luke a chapter a day in December. I think I was listening to Focus on the Family or something like that, and someone talked about this practice, and I was like, I'm just going to do that this year. And I remember that year I was in Mexico on December 1st, and I was all excited. I made sure I brought my Bible with me so that I could make notes and all that fun stuff. And then years later, I was leading an online study, and I forgot to start. Oh. And so around the 10th, I was like, no, I forgot to start. And God's like, you've been reading other parts of the Bible for Christmas preparation, and that's fine. But that year I read the whole book of Luke in just about one sitting the day after Christmas. Wow. And I was like, okay, well, I think it's time to start sharing this practice with other people, because this is just really, really great. Mm-hmm. So then I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So then I started thinking about it and wondering, how am I supposed to write this? I don't know. And I went to Disney World at the beginning of the summer. I thought, okay, in the summertime, I'm going to start reading Luke and I'm going to start writing. And we went to Disney World the first day after Christmas break began. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to start next week. And when I was at Disney World, we went to the Blizzard Beach Park. It's a water park. We hadn't planned to go. They play Christmas music all day long. Okay. And I'm bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, no, I'm just supposed to start. No. Oh my gosh, I'm going to write a book. And my whole family's like, okay, well, let's go get on the water slides now. Are you falling apart right now? But I did that night. I opened Luke 1 on my phone, and I read it and I read it and I read it, and I kept reading it until I had something to say, and then started the writing process on Christmas in July that year, actually. Wow. I think that was 2017. And then I think that was 2018, and I started a blog, and and it just kind of all rolled into a years-long process. But
so are you like me? Are you an accidental author?
I had
always liked writing.
I'd always wanted to write a book. I'd always wanted to write something significant. And I spent years wondering what in the world that would be. Okay. Wow. And when I went to Israel in 2015 and had my first infusion of Hebraic focused study and connecting the land itself to scripture, that's what like blew my mind open. And I'm like, okay, now I really have something that I really have to say.
Wow.
And so like, even in my book, I mean, not all the pictures are Israel. I had wanted all the pictures to be Israel. And then the trip we planned in 2020 didn't work. So I got creative and did some other things, but like each chapter has a picture. And so I'm trying to draw people into like the places of the stories with a picture to start off each chapter. So that people can like really start to connect if they haven't been to Israel before. Like, these places are real, and seeing what they look like and describing as often as I can kind of what if there's a great smell to that place, or there's a great feeling or a great texture or something, like, to try and help people just like be in the place of the stories that happen in the Gospel of Luke. That was like big motivation to me too.
Wow. That sounds like so cool. I would love to go to Israel someday. So I'm if it's okay for a Christian to be jealous, I'm very jealous that you've had that opportunity to do that. So that is wonderful. So do you, it sounds like your like last couple of years of Christmases have been focused on the book and just, getting the word out there, the good news of great joy out there. But do you have like another favorite story of Christmas joy?
Yes.
Okay.
So I kind of have I'll go really short on the first one and expand on the second one because, so 2 of my 3 children came in December.
Okay.
And so my oldest child was born on December 9th. And that was just a beautiful, like, first baby Christmas. It was hard because at the time we were living away from family and we were living in London. So as amazing as it was to like walk down Regent Street and see all the lights and get to do like London Christmas and go to the Charles Dickens weekend of Christmas and oh my gosh, I'm spacing out, Rochester and all these beautiful things. It was really hard because we were away from family. So that was a rough, but also just an amazing Christmas. And so, and then my youngest, she was born on September 5th, but we adopted her from foster care. Oh, okay. And as Christmas started creeping forward, we knew she was there. We knew that, other siblings had been adopted by other family of mine. And so we knew that she was there, and we knew that it would be best for her to be in a setting where she was connected to her biological siblings. And we were the best choice for that. And so it took some convincing. Just asking a lady named Debbie that works in Yakima at DSHS. She laughs about it now, but I like pestered the heck out of her like 3 weeks when she finally was like, fine.
Wow.
I'll start thinking about maybe that this is a good idea. And so on December 22nd, that evening, we went and picked up our daughter.
Okay.
In a baby bassinet. And at the time she was almost 4 months old.
Oh.
And so we had like brand new baby coming just in time for Christmas. And we had hosted a party that year, and my siblings came from out of town. Like, there was a whole bunch going on. And I was like, oh, maybe this wasn't the best idea because I'm so overwhelmed. But it was a Christmas of such great joy because we had spent so much time and energy communicating and just, praying and seeing if, God was going to answer this prayer, or if the answer was no, not now, because she needed to, or no, because really she was supposed to be raised in this other family. And it was like the yes came just right at Christmas time. And so that was really special. Yeah.
We kind of have a Christmas babies in common too, because my oldest child, my son, was born on December 15th, but he was actually due on Christmas Day. So I was very overjoyed that he came 10 days early so that I could enjoy Christmas with a newborn too. So that was fun. Yeah, he's my best Christmas gift. Of course I say that. So
yeah, that's sweet. I love that.
Yeah. All right. So we have things in common with our love for the Gospel of Luke. So I've been asking all of my guests on the show, what is a favorite story that you have from the Gospel of Luke?
So, I mean, I have so many.
I know. One from each chapter at least.
The one that has been on my mind just most recently is the pairing of the story of the bleeding woman with Jairus's daughter, and the juxtaposition there. In the chapter for Luke 8, I actually write about that, and I was inspired by a mosaic. Was it a mosaic or was it a painting? And I can't remember, but there was a brand new piece of art on the wall of the new Magdala Center on the Sea of Galilee. And I had been there in 2018 and took a picture of this gorgeous, gorgeous image of a hand reaching towards the corner of Jesus's tassel on the ground amongst like all of these feet. But like this reaching, and then there's this kind of light around her hand. And so I just thought, oh my gosh, there was like this desperation, and you saw it in that picture. And I contacted that place multiple times, but it was all in the middle of COVID, because I wanted to get it, like, who did this picture and can I get permission to put it in my book? And so I ended up deciding to just recreate it the best I could. In my parents' backyard. And my dad was the feet of Jesus.
Okay.
And there's my hand. It's maybe hard to tell, but
yeah, I can see it. I can see.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so anyway, and I called this the gift of determined trust.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, because I mean, these two things, like, you think, oh, it's just random that these are juxtaposed, but I don't think so. Because, you know, this bleeding woman, I mean, she had to have been, I mean, poor, like, we know enough about her in the little bit of scripture that there is, that, you know, she had spent all her money. And because she was bleeding, she could not live in community. She was on the outside. And so her saying, I don't even care. Someone touches me and become unclean. I don't care. I need to touch Jesus. Was even going to do it, you know, try and do it like this uninterrupted, like, okay, only I can touch the corner. And as this is happening, then Jairus, who is like big time guy of that area, comes and, can you heal my daughter? But they're both his daughters, and the one is there. He heals her first, even though she's nothing, and then turns, and even though this girl had lost her life, still heals her. Is like, oh my gosh. And yeah, last night when we were writing out our little Operation Christmas Child letters, my daughter's friend was like, my favorite is, oh, you know, the one where Jesus like goes and heals the girl, and I just love that story. And I was like, that's in Luke 8, that's in my book. And so I'm thinking about it a bunch yesterday. So today, that's my favorite. If you ask me tomorrow, it might be Mary and Martha in Luke 10, or
I know. It's like every time I talk about the book, it's like, I know I'm going to be asked what is my favorite story, and there's just so much richness in the Gospel of Luke. So any of you that are watching right now and you have not journeyed through the Gospel of Luke, especially in the month of December, when you get to know Jesus from the beginning of Luke. He sets out to write an orderly account, which is another thing I absolutely love. And then Luke writes in a way that is very more familiar to us Westerner, those of us that grew up in a Western language. He writes more for us, easier to understand, I guess you could say. And you find joy in chapter 1 when the news of John the Baptist, and Elizabeth, Mary came to her, and John just leapt in the womb with joy because he knew that Jesus was there. And then it goes out in chapter 24, it goes out with the disciples going out in joy to share the good news of great joy. So if you have not gone through the Gospel of Luke yet, I invite you to go and grab both of our books. You can have from a different perspective each day. Mine is a joy-seeking journey, and yours is more focused on like the gifts of the season, or the gifts of Jesus. And but it's just such a great way to get to know Jesus, from his prophesied birth, seeing him as a child and growing in wisdom and stature, and then starting his earthly ministry, and then all the difficult and hard things that he did on our behalf at Calvary, and then ascending to heaven and leaving the disciples and those of us that are left still today to go out and share the good news of great joy. So come through the Gospel of Luke with us. And another thing Jenny and I are doing too is we are actually giving away a Christmas devotional gift bundle right now, which is super exciting. We're inviting you to sign up for it. There's a link for the giveaway in the description, and there'll be a link in the description once this is posted later on YouTube. But we're only taking entries until, give the date and time, Jenny.
So we are going to, the drawing is going to be finished on this coming Friday at noon.
At November 25th. Yeah, November 25th. Noon Pacific time.
Pacific time. There you go. Like, so
those
get a little bit more specific.
Yeah, so those of us in the Eastern time zone, we get until 3 p.m. So, or 4 p.m.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
4 p.m. Eastern time, and then you're going to do the drawing. So, friends, enter to win because you get 7 Christmas devotionals, so you have enough for gift giving as well. And we're also giving away a $100 Amazon gift card with that. So
yes, and my Counting Up to Christmas devotion. It's actually a cookbook devotional.
Oh yeah, you have
put it in there too. Yeah, it's like, it's this close to being done. I'm like down to this nitty gritty, super picky. Like, I'm going through today and just like checking off and making sure that every single ingredient is included in the description, because someone pointed out that I'd missed something, and then I was like, oh no,
what did I do? Like, even if you just miss like putting salt in the ingredients, you gotta have the salt there too.
Exactly. I mean, it's just silly little things, but if people haven't made the recipes 100 times like I have, then they're not gonna know. So it's really close to being finished, and
so that'll be going out too. So each of us authors in the giveaway are going to be signing and sending a book to the winner. So you'll be actually getting a bunch of packages in the mail too.
Yes. I am already so thoroughly delighted with whoever gets to win this, because it is going to be such an amazing thing to receive, just right as the Christmas season like officially begins, and everyone's thinking about gifts, and everyone's thinking about, how am I going to get through this year with peace and joy?
Right. Yes. Another Christmas is upon us, and I love Christmas, and I know you do too, Jenny. So join us. Make sure to sign up for the giveaway if you're watching this before November 25th, 2022. And if not, reach out to us and ask us when we're going to do another giveaway.
That sounds good.
We'll do another one next year. But Jenny, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited about your journey through the Gospel of Luke too. And I know readers and listeners should be able to get a lot out of that too. Again, all the links for everything are going to be in the description of this video. So make sure you check that out there. And how else can people get in touch with you?
So my website is jenniferelwood.com. And my handle on Instagram and Facebook, and now that we can have handles on YouTube, it's all the same. It's Jennifer Elwood Author.
And the Elwood is with only one L.
Yes, ELWOOD.
Yes, very good. All right, thank you so much for joining me again. It was so nice to connect with you on Zoom and to catch up and talk about our books and all the things. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you again since we have our giveaway drawing on the 25th.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks for
Jenny.